in this round of 8 matchup. Hailing from Finland and playing for Team ASUS in the red trunks, Protoss, to the east of the Antigua shipyard, it is Team ASUS's Elfi. And it's almost as if he's got a little bit of local support. However, he is up against a very popular player in his own right, playing for Team Millennium, hailing from the country of France. In the blue trunks, playing Zerg to the west, Millennium Stephano.
And just looking over the map pool for this best of 3 series once again, it is going to be Antigua, of course, Shakuris number 2, and then Daybreak finally. Out of all of those 3 maps, this game on Antigua Shipyard is a almost must-win for Elfi. He has to win on this map because the other maps, it is so difficult against a player like Stephano to take a 3rd base. He will hold you off no matter how hard you try to take it. And on this map, it is the easier of the 3 to obtain that base if Elfi does decide to play that style, a more defensive one. But at the same time, Elfi could be saying, I can't beat Stephano straight up, man. He's just too good.
Quickly.
Maybe I have to do some form of aggression, a gateway timing, an upgrade timing, or something along those lines.
And the question is, what kind of timing do you really throw against the guy who's been practicing against a really, really good Protoss player who did lose to Elfi? But bear in mind, of course, that is Elfi's by far his best matchup. And Bling was able to defeat Polt yesterday. He's certainly no slouch. You practice against that guy every single day, tightening up all of your timings. And this is actually something Bling said to me, that you can't do anything like that against Stephano because he will defend it. And if you try something really cheesy, he'll just kill you. I think every answer was like, well, what about if you tried this? Like, no, he'll kill you with roaches. But what about no, he's got roaches, he'll kill you. And then you've got to think, well, where is Stephano weakest? And more to the point, where can you actually exploit that? Is it even possible to do so? Not many Protoss have managed to figure it out yet.
Yeah, like I was about to say that too. 30 games of Protoss players,
yeah,
nobody knows. And it's very difficult because the thing that makes Stephano the king of Zerg that he is that he will see and scout everything. There's nothing you can hide from him. And that allows him to prepare for everything that can come. And if he's prepared for everything to come, then that means you have to play straight up. You have to play a macro style. But then he's already so strong against that. And if it does go to the late game, that's when that deadly death ball combination comes in of, you know, the Infestors, the Broodlords, and that composition, which becomes very difficult for any Protoss player. And it looks like so far, you know, we do have a pretty standard game from both of these players. We do have the super standard from Stephano nowadays for that 4-minute 3rd base, or 4-minute 30 3rd base, taking his natural on the 3rd base location, just kind of rotating around due to that single pylon obstruction on the natural. But Elfi so far, nothing revealed in terms of his plan and what he's up to, but in his head, he has something designed here. I'm sure we will just have to find out what it is.
Exactly. One of Elfi's strengths in every matchup, not just PvP, is mind games, the amount of cancellations he does, how far he goes to hide, and also how far he goes to show specific tech, and then, of course, to switch into something else. That perhaps could shake Stephano. There's a possibility, but there are only a limited number of combinations that you can end up using. And honestly, I think Elfi's going to want to... He doesn't want to take this to the late game. He will probably want to try and kill him in the next... it's 10 or so minutes. He doesn't want to go any further than that, and the question is, can he pull it off?
And so far, there's been no upgrade from Elfi from the Forge, which is 100 gas and missing from his overall structure of his gameplay, which means he's saving it for something. We're about to have a pylon finishing the main base. Whether we'll see a Stargate going down here, potentially to start to harass the economy of Stephano, or whether it will be as we see a robotics facility coming down. And let's have a look at Stephano's overlord positions. He has overlords in locations at the south to spot a pylon on the higher ground, at the north to spot a pylon in the same location just mirrored, and then he also has a pylon towards the natural area of Elfi that can go in and check the Vespene guys. Is he teching up rapidly, or is he saving minerals ready to throw down additional gateways? And here we do have that tech up from Elfi, and Stephano already knows the second they go down, Stephano knows, and that is, as we talked about, the strength of Stephano. And all of a sudden, that immediately allows Stephano not to build units. He doesn't need units, his opponent is teching up. So he will continue to drone harder than he would do usually, as we see 14 drones in production. And he's just going to have such an incredible economy.
The interesting thing from Elfi here is that he's put into all 4 gas. You'd expect some really high-tech stuff, and in fact, there is a Warp Prism coming out down to the bottom here, which is not necessarily what you'd expect when 4 gas is taken. Would you disagree?
Well, he's going to use the gas for sentries to begin with. So he's built 3 sentries in a row. He is upgrading at the same time. But yeah, he will have additional gas. But by the looks of it, he's going to be going for a Warp Prism, 4 sentry harassment, and then I feel that he's going to just tech up to Robotics Bay and maybe try to finish it. He could also, as we're seeing now, throw down additional gateways and then go for a push after the harassment with Immortals, with Sentries, with Zealots, which we actually saw play really well earlier for Elfi. I mean, not for Elfi, sorry. Who was playing against Lucky? Sorry, skip my mind. Whelmu, sorry.
Whelmu, yeah.
So we saw a similar style from Whelmu where he actually did knock down Lucky apart from the counterattack. So as long as Elfi is prepared for the counterattack, it could work. And here comes the Warp Prism. Stephano, I don't think saw it.
I'm quite sure he didn't. Yeah, there's no response to that. And he's actually found a hole in that big net that's come in there with the Overlords. And that's quite surprising. Funnily enough, the Overlords are actually in the way, which prevent Elfi from really landing good force fields. He prevents a lot of mining time here, but he wasn't able to kill all that many units. It does, of course, prevent the roaches from coming out. A decent bit of harassment there, but Stephano's making things awkward. He's obscuring the sight by just covering up this big mineral line here with Overlords all over the place.
And Stephano, upon seeing that it didn't do enough damage, basically, that. So Stephano says, all right, you invested 200 minerals in the Warp Prism, you invested 400 gas with those sentries, but you didn't do anything to me. Build 10 more drones. That is the intelligence and the style of Stephano. And now, once again, he will go back to unit production. He only has 6 roaches and 20 lings, but in the production tab, shortly we'll see a flurry of units coming out from Stephano in anticipation for anything that can come from this. He's also adding on the Spire as a backup plan against a Robotics Bay, and Elfi is going to start to push out now. Will this push be enough against Stephano's sick economy, or did Stephano over-drone just a little bit? He's at 77 drones, by the way, guys. That's a lot.
It is a ridiculous amount for the 10-minute mark, honestly. You know, that's ret levels of droning, possibly even more extreme than that. And it may hurt him. It might. There's a possibility. Stephano's going to try and prevent the third base from coming down. This is the thing that we always seem to say about Stephano. Protoss can't take a third base against Stephano. It's incredibly hard to do. He'll stop you by any means necessary. And if this fourth ends up going up and starts mining, things are going to get very, very crazy indeed. The Warp Prism is still active and actually making its way into the main once again. Spore Crawler is being redeployed to attempt to deal with that. It has also been spotted. The high ground now taken here by Elfi. Now moving in. The army supply count is slightly in favor of Stephano, but that is a lot of roaches that could be nullified by the use of these sentries here, and that is the middle expansion killed quite easily. In fact, a supply block there for Stephano. Again, at Zerg, it doesn't really matter all that much, but it does happen, and there's the pylon.
It's all about these force fields now. Good little move here from Stephano, picking off the pylons to be able to reinforce, but there are pylons at the south side, so Elfi doesn't care. Elfi's army in a head-to-head battle, if he lands every single force field well, can beat Stephano's. It actually can. He can take this third base, and he's in an amazing position. He has to hit these force fields. He has to prevent Stephano from getting up close.
He really does. He's got to make that happen. That was not a particularly good start. There's a lot of force fields wasted, but the amount of force fields he had is absolutely absurd. Funnily enough, Elfi keeps getting supply block because of all the pylons that keep getting sniped off here. He's going to go for that third and will most likely kill it. There's really no way to stop that from happening at this point, but what Stephano wants to do is crush this army and then roll over. But it's tricky, certainly. Force fields placed once again didn't catch all that many roaches, slowly slicing this army into little pieces.
He is indeed, but he keeps losing pylons, which are pylon blocking him, but he does bring the Warp Prism now, which can act as a flying pylon to be able to warp in. There's nothing to prevent that from happening. 17 more roaches in production, +1. 1 is about to finish the roaches, +2 is near completion. If Elfi wants to do something, he has to do it soon. Otherwise, the upgrades of the roaches could carry him through. But at the same time, look at the amount of stalkers. Sentry's still very key here. It's a very tense moment for Stephano. Knows that he's under trouble building so many spine crawlers. Elfi's going to get pincered here. The force fields have to cover his ass.
Here it comes. Yeah, he needs good force fields, and they're able to block off those roaches at the back, and he moves in, and there is no tunneling claws, just burrow. And now he tries to make his way through the forest for spine crawlers. which is very dangerous in and of itself. The Immortals target firing as much as they can, bringing in the Warp Prism there, but the Force Field to come down needs a second wave of Force Fields. He's backing himself into a corner, and Stephano's looking to crush it, but a big Warp in, using the Warp Prism to bring in additional reinforcements directly into the fight. And now target firing on the Spine Crawler. Another one going down, more Force Fields placed. Good engagements here from Elfi, really good. Smashes his way through a good number of roaches up the side there. Stephano's army is actually crumbling here.
And he's pulling drones. Stephano is feeling threatened against it because the warpings keep coming, but the force field energy is running out, and all of a sudden, in a few seconds' time, the floodgates are going to open.
The Immortals are still alive, though.
So many, yes,
he's
indeed,
decimating the roaches. He's decimating them. Those 3 Immortals are still there, and he's going for it. He is going for it. He could actually take this. The roaches, there's the GG!